It's Friday, and you know what that means. We're live, pal. I'm John Retton with my review of AEW Rampage from the Curtis Culwell Center in Dallas, Texas. Oh, Dallas, Texas. The rich tradition of wrestling resonates throughout the entire state, but especially in Dallas and surrounding areas. World-class championship wrestling, the Von Erich name, it still carries so much weight. So many people still love the Von Erichs and speak fondly of them and speak fondly of world-class championship wrestling. That's another story for another day. I have retro-reviewed some various world-class championship wrestling episodes and events if you would like to check out the old school wrestling reviews playlist. But let's talk about Rampage. One, the live setting really does help. I wish that they would find a way to renegotiate their TV deal and have it on at this time as a lead into SmackDown, because I don't know. I just feel like having Rampage on later in the night hurts the show, and even if it's taped, you could have it on earlier. It just feels better on at this particular time. Now, I will say that this show, because of the live crowd and because of how hot they were, that was pretty goddamn cool. And it did mean that they weren't playing with the crowd sweetening to the point where it's like, okay, there's no way the crowd's making those kind of noises. That's like really, really dubbed in stuff. Not as bad as the award-winning WWE Thunderdome, but I digress. So, they taped Battle of the Belts 2 shortly after this because there was an NBA play-in game. And Battle of the Belts 2 will be on tomorrow. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Windy City Riot in Chicago will also be on at that same time. So, because of that, I'm going to watch Windy City Riot live, and I'm going to record Battle of the Belts 2, and I'm going to watch that afterwards, because even though I work long on Saturdays, sleep is for the weak. So that's your update right there. So, Brian makes his entrance, and man, Wheeler Yuta makes his entrance. They need to get him better music, but this is a work in progress. I'm not the biggest Wheeler Yuta fan, but I will say, after what he did with Moxley, that was pretty good. That was pretty good stuff, and he fought from underneath. He gushed a little bit too much, but I will say that he certainly brought it. Wild Thing, you make Dallas sing, and boy did they ever. They were really, really up. Regal joins commentary to offer great insight for the six-man tag, the Blackpool Combat Club, Bryan Danielson, Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta against the Gun Club, Billy, Colton, and Austin. Billy wrestling in 2022 is still wild to see. The sign Kingdom Hearts is not that complicated. I salute you, sign maker. Roll up for 3 on Billy. Not a bad match. Pretty goddamn good. The crowd was really into it and really into wanting to see Wheeler get the pin, and naturally he had to get the pin. Billy at this point carries enough weight, like as far as his legacy, he can take the pin. It's not going to matter at this point in his career. And there you go. Okay, fine six-man opener. Who asked for Sean Spears is what I wrote down. The Butcher beat up some. I didn't even catch the jobber's name, the enhancement talent's name. I'm not being disrespectful. I didn't catch his name. He beat him with a powerbomb in like 30 seconds. And Dustin Rhodes promo, he's on his last ride. Maybe, perhaps, he's not sure. He knows he's not done with Lance Archer, but he is challenging CM Punk for Dynamite. That'll be pretty cool to see. And then it's a Rancid Destruction in Dallas. No, I'm not talking about the world-class championship wrestling roster eroding rapidly in the 80s. I'm talking about Rancid singing Ruby, Ruby, Ruby Soho. She took on Robin Renegade in an Owen Hart qualifier match. The crowd loved Ruby. You remember when Ruby was like really, really hot and the crowd just loved her for like a few weeks and then they cooled her off? Good job there. I know they can't feature everybody all the time, and I know she's wrestled on Dark Elevation and Dark, but good God. Robin isn't bad in the ring. They tried pulling the twin magic. People say, oh, it's like the Bellas. It's iconic. Here's the difference. Robin and Charlotte actually show promise as wrestlers. No, I'm not going to get off that goddamn high horse. I'm going to continue to feel that way. But they try to do the twin magic thing. Actually, I reference it more like the Killer Bees, because the Killer Bees had talent. And no future to Charlotte, but she rolls outside, and then Robin tries to get in with a roll-up, but no, she gets hit with a flatliner, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Battle of the Belts 2, Sammy and Sky, Nyla Rose and Thunder Rosa, Gresham and Dalton Castle. TV, AEW Women's, and Ring of Honor Championship. I think they could have had a 4th match, I'm just saying. So, Tony Khan has a huge announcement on Dynamite. I think it's going to be an AEW New Japan Super Show in June of it's sometime June. I would say mid-June. I would think shortly after Dominion in Osaka. Wardlow the Butcher, they're taking on each other. Punk and Dustin, Hooks debut on Dynamite. Britt versus Daniel Kamea. I forget actually how you say her name. The former Vanessa Bourne. Jungle Boy versus Kyle O'Reilly. And a coffin match, Darby versus Andrade. Next Rampage, Garcia versus Eddie, one-on-one, everybody banned from ringside. Gonna be uncomfortable to get all the fans out of there. And Jade versus Marina Shafir for the TBS Championship. That is gonna be a disaster. So, it's only the third ever Texas Death Match in AEW history, and the second in like 8 weeks. Paige gets a pop, Adam gets a pop, Adam Cole, baby. It's Adam versus Adam. It's Texas Death Match, and same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. Hey, let's get weapons. Let's do stuff. Look, they did some good work. They did. I'm not going to deny that. They took some hard bumps, and they tried to make this as serious as possible and as like much of a blood feud as possible. I just haven't cared for this feud because Adam Cole lost a lot of luster with me when he lost to a goddamn hug against Orange Cassidy. Unsanctioned or not, it was stupid. And Paige's title reign he's had great matches. It just hasn't really felt like a world title reign. I'm not saying he needs to lose it anytime soon at least, but I imagine he will probably lose it at Double or Nothing. But there's a bunch of chairs in the ring. Paige is selling his knee because Cole was targeting it. And both were bloody. And then he ties a belt, or takes his belt off and ties Adam Cole there, and then gets a barbed wire chair. I was ready to tune out at this point because I don't want to see that shit. But he puts it down. He gets hit with the nut shot after he unties him. But then he hits a lariat, and then he gets the barbed wire in the arm, but hurts himself because, yeah, barbed wire on arms tends to hurt. And then the Deadeye through the table after he puts a wire crown on his head on Good Friday. I mean, whatever. They're that close to pulling the Sandman Raven angle and crucifying somebody and pissing off Kurt Angle, so he goes to WWE. Oh, that was a little bit, that was very, very strange. But anyway, yeah, Adam Cole gets the victory. Cool. The effort was there, but you can only hit people over the head with so much hardcore stuff before it just starts to blend together. And that's any company. That's New Japan, it's AEW, it's Impact, WWE. I don't give a shit. It was what it was. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.